Hello, glorious Sunday. This is Joel, and I wanted to share some moments of spiritual exploration and journey. So, I was a hairdresser. I've been a hairdresser. I've had my license since I was 14. Actually, I got it when I was 15 and had to lie to get a job. So, doing hair was my main career. It involved a lot of art, balance, form. Um, what I found later in my career, I've always had an affinity for plants growing, so I started gardening in my free time and always said the plants don't talk back. So, what I've learned over time, I've had some major health issues, and I keep coming back. And one of the things I keep doing, no matter how bad a shape I'm in, is I garden because it's one of the things I really feel that I can affect change. Whatever I leave behind, the plants I plant and take care of, at least while I'm doing it, will look great for whoever comes along next. So I want to share with you some of what I do. I take cuttings. Sometimes I buy some plants, but I get them very small and young, and my goal is to watch things grow and sometimes to alter their shape. So I want to just share what I do. It keeps me going. It's kept me from going crazy during COVID. And in my deepest of health issues, I get out in the garden, no matter which garden I'm working on, because I've done many, and this is what I do. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. So this is not the actual garden I started with. I started it at Brian's, my partner. A lot of the area looked like this. In the desert, in some communities, this is a 55 plus community where when something dies, they don't see fit to have it replaced. They have some shrubbery, which they just cut in barrel shapes. And over time, I got sick of looking at the barren landscape and started just planting things that were growing in the desert, making sure everything was drought tolerant that I was putting in the ground. So these are aloe vera and some more aloe vera. I thought it would be good. It's very drought tolerant, does well in the summer. It's good for your skin, and so people can use it. And it grows readily, and it gives a nice texture to try to eventually block out those ugly air conditioning units. So little by little, I'm growing agave, and this is where I started at Brian. There was pretty much nothing growing here but a few shrubs. And I started planting some of the agaves and sweet potato vines. And this here is a lantana. This one has pink and yellow flowers. There you go. A lot of these lantanas, which grow in the desert very easily and flower sometimes all year, started growing, and I just shaped it into a tree. That's one of my things I do. And when I'm out here, see this? There's a little lizard there. And when I'm working out here, they like to come say hello to me. I'm not alone. The other thing, a lot of neighbors come by and talk to me, which is what they did when I was doing hair. They share with me their dramas of the day, and it's nice to have a little interaction that way. But all this stuff, pretty much 95% of it was not here before. Most of these things I planted. I know the lighting isn't great right now, especially for a photographer. But all these things, like this shrub was here. I thought it was a ficus. It's not. It was a little barrel shrub, and I shaped it into a tree, and now it's really taking off. The Italian cypress I planted when they were maybe 1.5 feet tall. This area was all barren, except for the lime tree there. I planted, one of the reasons, and I do this a lot in my gardens, is to create privacy. Brian's is on the first floor. It's open to the public. So I wanted to make a space to have privacy. So I put the oleanders in over there, and I did a lot of mother-in-law's tongues at the base of the patio, which are very hard to see right now. And one of my goals was to cover up those utilities for the building. And when you're standing over here, that was my goal, so you wouldn't see how ugly that was, or the AC unit. So what I'm doing is working. And Brian's next door neighbor had a pretty barren landscape too, and I just started putting stuff in. And it's no longer barren. It's thickening up gradually. This big shrub here is an elephant bush. It's a jade plant. And I have a lot of more aloe and agaves. And things are looking pretty good. And I gradually started doing the neighbors across the way because it was so ugly. So I have some agaves coming up there, and aloe vera, more agaves. That's a succulent, and I don't know the name, but they're growing like crazy there, and some over back there. And so eventually everybody's garden in this fertile crescent I've helped to create lets me know I can affect change. Thanks for joining me.